a mom isn't all it's cracked up to be. Allie says she's contemplated divorce just to get time away from her kids. Her husband, Jamie, says she is completely lost in motherhood. Take a look.
All my life, I had a plan to find a perfect man, start a family, and when I met James, I knew that he was the right man for me. We lived together before we started a family. Our life was very exciting. We did whatever we wanted, however we wanted, whenever we wanted. When I got pregnant, it was beautiful. We were just so happy. I read every book out there. I thought my plan was going great. When Olivia was 4 months old, I got pregnant again. And this was not in my plans. I feel like I'm drowning. I'm having really bad thoughts of looking back and what was I thinking? A typical working day, we're up at 5:45, 6 in the morning. We're up because one of the 2 children are crying. So I leave around 7:15 to work. I get out of work at 4. When I walk in the door, the moment I walk in, this is my second job that I don't get paid for. I don't even get a break to change my shoes. I notice with the stress, I'm reacting to my children differently. I'm yelling at them, I'm screaming at them for no reason. I'm very scared. I haven't found time for myself. I haven't found time to give to my husband. We haven't found time for each other.
Allie's very overwhelmed at this point. I see this glazed look in her eyes sometimes. That's not normal. I've
lost love for my husband. I've lost love for my kids. Sometimes I'm hearing them cry, and I wonder, if we get a divorce, I have the weekends to myself.
People get divorced over things like this.
My marriage is falling apart because we have kids. I'm not seeing the precious things in my children. I'm not having fun with them. My kids deserve better. What? I'm a terrible mom. If I would have seen the future, I probably would have never had kids.
Wow, shocking admission, but you know what? I appreciate you coming here because I think a lot of us can relate to having moments like that. How bad is it on a scale of 1 to 10?
10.
It is really,
if it could go higher.
So it's gotten to the point where you can't, you're not functioning.
Yes, and also we don't have that nanny that comes in. We don't have grandma that comes in on Sundays and tells us, go out for 8 hours. We don't have
we rarely get the outside support.
You need a relief. You need time to get away and miss your kids.
Yeah, yes, right? Thank you. I never have heard myself say, oh, I can't wait to see my kids. No. And I have to say, I get off work at 3:45 and I sit in my car for 30 minutes and I tell my husband, I'm home at 4:30 because that's
your
me.
Me time.
That's my me time in my car, listening to the radio, not having someone kicking the back of my seat, crying, yelling.
So you say your 2-year-old is just running your life?
Gosh, yes, she is. She is. She definitely is. And I have to say, at 2 in the morning when they're both crying or one wakes up the other, is when I'm thinking, okay, if we were divorced, he would have them on the weekend and I would have Saturday and Sunday. How sad is that I've come to that point?
Come to survival skills.
It is exhausting. There's no question. You're at the worst kind of phase. I mean, they're babies and they're in diapers. You've got 2 in diapers.
Yes.
Panel, can you relate, Catherine?
I mean, I was tearing up watching that because I think that is the way that a lot of women feel, you know, no matter what, because they're screaming, there's just nothing you can do and there's no reasoning. That's the hardest part. If you could just be like, can we sit down and talk for a second? I just got home from work.
And there's no end in sight.
There's no end.
And all what you saw was real. I come in and here you go. Here's a baby. I don't even have time to take off my shoes. Here you go.
And even in downtime, there's always chores and things to do. Dishes, laundry, whatever it is, it's nonstop. Even if the kids aren't at you, there's things to do.
And you admit that you're not very nice to your husband.
Of course, no. When my daughter was only 4 months old, I found out I was pregnant again. And yes, I threw a shoe at him. My big stiletto shoes that I used to wear a long time ago, not anymore. They're gone. I think he still has a scar right in his eye.
Okay, but you know that it takes two to get in that situation, right?
No. It was his birthday, and what woman, after having a 4-month, not sleeping for 8 hours, says,
He wanted his birthday present.
No, I don't remember.
I have to say,
was his
the divorce
birthday.
thing, not that I'm advocating divorce, but I have to say there was a time for me when we did get, we were getting along in this divorce, but I had guilt-free time to myself. That I knew they were safe, they were with their father. I mean, every Wednesday night is like a sacred time for me and my husband now, because Wednesday nights they're with their dad. So I can relate to that comment about, I'm not saying you should get divorced. No. I think there's hope for you guys. In fact, we are going to do some things to help you. Coming up next, Allie is desperate in need of help, so we sent our expert to the rescue with some top tips for surviving motherhood. That and much more after this.
These are the eyeballs. This now is a shock absorber, and you could literally drop this thing on the floor.
Yeah, I love my balls.
I'm a mom of 2, and my confession is I was in a hurry one morning and I got everybody in the car, started to drive away, and my 3-year-old yells, "Mommy, you didn't buckle me." Whoops.
Oh, been there, done that a dozen times. All right, we're back. Allie and Jamie are overwhelmed with a capital O by parenthood. So mom strategist Mia Redrick made a house call to give them some practical solutions. Take a look and see how it went.
Hi.
Hi, Mia, I'm Allie.
What do you miss most about your life?
Oh my gosh, being with my husband.
Do you all date at all?
Date? What's that?
No date night.
And then what about in terms of family time?
We try to connect at dinner and stuff, but it ends up usually being pretty chaotic.
I've got some great ideas that are going to help you, and we're going to have some fun today. Families that play together, stay together. One of the things that works really well for families is something called Dear Time, and it means drop everything and read.
You want me to read you the number book?
What I like about doing something as simple as playing a ball, you want to keep what you're doing with your kids really simple, and that way you have to play together.
All right.
Come on, Olivia.
Have your blankie.
Come play ball with Mom.
Good job.
One of the things that I would recommend for you guys to do is change your routine. You plan your meals in advance so that you don't get home and you feel like, oh my God, my kids aren't eating healthy, because that's important to you. So right now, you're not gonna go out to date, you're gonna date in. So what we wanna focus on is getting you guys to reconnect, all right? So we've got a little music. See what it feels like just to touch one another again and dancing.
I miss you. I forget how this is how we feel. This is how we feel, and we don't say it enough. Thank you, Mia. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Wow, wow. Well, welcome the author of Time for Mommy, 365 Daily Strategies for Mother's Self-Care, Mia Redrick. Mia, thank you so much. Stand up, please. Pleasure, pleasure. I really feel for this family. You did help them with some tips, but what can we all take away from this?
Well, Dear Time is such a simple way to build quality in your family time and to make self-care a reality every single day. It's simple.
So drop everything and read.
Drop everything and read. It will allow the kids to see mom and dad having some downtime, and it becomes part of the family culture, self-care.
So what about the fact that she has no time to herself? She sits in her car and listens to the radio and lies to her husband about where she is, just so she can have a moment to breathe.
So what we talked about was them giving one another permission without guilt and supporting that time and understanding you need that when you have 2 young children. Mm-hmm. They're a couple that wants to be together. They don't want to be apart. And so you could see that when they started to date, just to dance together, they reconnected immediately.
I saw you covering your ears when that was happening. Why?
It's emotional.
Yes, it is. Because I love my husband, and we all forget why we got married. And now I'm thinking about divorcing because I don't want to see my kids for 2 days. Yes, it is sad. It's very sad. I love him. We spent 7 years together, and
did whatever we wanted, however we wanted, and now out of nowhere, I have this 2-year-old telling me, no, you're not going to sleep.
She is raining on your parade, isn't she?
Yes.
Well, do you feel like there's more hope? There's some hope here. We are going to give you some tips, and we have a little surprises for you later, okay?
Thank you.
So thank you. I do believe you're going to feel better after the hour. Thank you, Mia. Thank you so much. So, our friends at Spa Finder Wellness are giving you a $500 gift certificate for some mommy self-care, Allie. And also, that's not it. That's not it. VIP Nannies is also giving you 60 hours of babysitting so that you and Jamie can have some alone time. It's like you won Lotto, right? Oh, and audience, we haven't forgot about you either. You're all going home with a year subscription of Mia's Mom Academy. Enjoy, enjoy. Thank you. When we come back, the hottest tech gadgets moms cannot live without. You don't want to miss this. Next. Just because the show ends doesn't mean the conversation has to. Join my dear friend Josh for After Ricki, where Josh goes behind the scenes, gets after-show scoop, and you get to chat live. Go to therickilakeshow.com/AfterRicki every weekday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. We want you to be a part of the conversation, so join us.
Moms by nature, I suppose, try to take care of everything. Kids, husband, work, school, leaving little time for themselves. But listen up, our mom strategist has some practical tips for getting it done with some spare time. Take a look.
Every busy mother at some point struggles to get it all done. Laundry, shopping for groceries, or cleaning your house are just a few of the daily chores that we all have. One of the strategies that I use to get it all done is learning to insource and outsource some of my daily activities. Let me explain. Outsourcing is a wonderful way to send your chores outside of your house to make your life easier. For example, I love to send my laundry to a wash and fold service. It's an easy and simple, inexpensive way if I'm behind to catch up on my laundry.
So Thursday, right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great.
Now, insourcing is terrific also. It's bringing services into your home that will get rid of some of these daily chores that you have. For example, babysitter. You may have a mother's helper that comes over so you can get more done in your life. Or you might have your groceries delivered. Not all the time, but sometimes we all get behind, and it's a great way to catch up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Keep in mind, get your kids involved in some of the chores. They can handle way more than you think. Remember, when mama's happy, everyone else is happy. I'm Mia Redrick, America Now.
Is your family addicted to electronics? Turning off everyone's phones, computers, TVs, and tablets may sound like an impossible task.
Or a nightmare, but our mom strategist says, you know what, it can be done. And she shows us a way that's fun for the whole family and a great opportunity to really connect.
I love technology, but let's face it, technology can completely destroy communication and connection in a family. And one of the things that I recommend is that every family go on an electronic fast. First, make sure your family knows exactly the electronics that you're going to be fasting. Is it going to be the computer, the cell phone, video games, or something else? Be clear. And then next, you want to decide on the time period for the fast. Is it one day? Is it 1 week? Or is it 1 month or a consistent time every year? And most importantly, make sure your family knows what the rules are and that they clearly understand those and there's no wiggle room for that or for misunderstanding. So if your teens are like my teens, they'll look for plenty of opportunities to get out of the electronic fast. Now you're going to have plenty of opportunity to connect as a family, to play a game together, to take a walk, and to simply communicate and talk. Remember, when mama's happy, everyone else is happy. I'm Mia Redrick, America Now.
There's no doubt being a parent keeps you plenty busy, but spouses can spend so much time caring for the kids that they miss the chance to spend time together, right? Our mom strategist has some simple tips now to help husbands and wives reconnect.
We've all heard that we should date our spouse, but many of us have the best intentions, but we don't find the time to do so. But today, I'm gonna show couples how they can always make time for one another. My husband and I have always booked our dates in advance, so we would buy the tickets and we knew we would go because we were already committed. We've done lecture series together. We've also done dancing classes together.
Oh, wow.
A lot of fun, yoga together. It doesn't have to be anything major. You could choose your local gym membership and just take a class together.
We just booked a spin class together.
Oh, that's cool.
And he had so much fun, so I never considered that a date, but I guess going out for a cup of coffee after that, it was a date.
It's just a wonderful thing to connect with your spouse.
One of the things that I like the most about dating is since we have so many children and half of them are very young, wherever we go, we always have our hands on another child's hands.
Yes.
And when I'm out with my husband and there are no other hands to hold but his, it's
Yes.
like,
Oh, it takes me
it's really precious. You know, that my husband actually has hands, you know? And I love that, just being able to hold his hand.
And you know, because you have 6 children, one of the things that works terrific is to be able to date at home. And what I get a lot of my clients to do is to create a dating box. And in that box, you and your husband can put things that you want to enjoy together. Because sometimes we have opportunities to date our partners, but we don't have a whole lot of time. It might be you have 90 minutes, but by the time he has to go and get the movie or get a meal, the time that you would have spent together is gone. And another thing we love to do is to scout out places less than 20 minutes from our home, quick dates that we can have where they don't take a lot of time for commuting. So we can meet and have an appetizer and a drink, and it's just a wonderful time together. Dating is one of the best ways to get to know your partner, and it's a lot of fun too. Remember, when mama's happy, everyone else is happy. I'm Redrick, America Now.
All right, life can be hectic, so the next time you get a spontaneous opportunity to kick back with your kids, be ready for it. Our mom strategist says make a fun kit. Here's how to do it.
Every day can be fun if you plan for it. That's why I love creating a family fun kit. A family fun kit is an easy and simple way for you to have fun with your family in an instant. Here are some of the items that I love to pack in my family fun kit. All different types of balls, whether it's a baseball or basketball or tennis balls, so that we can have fun on the run anywhere. Also, I love to pack board games. Old school board games are my favorite. And in addition to that, I like to take something that's unexpected, like a giant paddleball set for those times when your kids say, there is nothing to do. Do your kids say that? My kids say that all the time. I love to pack things like that. Water guns are great, hula hoops, you name it. The idea is keep it simple and keep it fun.
Look at TJ go, look.
And the best part is, you get to have fun too. Remember, when mama's happy, everyone else is happy. I'm Redrick, America Now.
If you've got kids, you're probably in at least one carpool, and boy, do they take some time management skills. Well, here's some help for you. Our mom strategist has some advice on how to make carpooling run smoothly.
I know from my family, we could not survive without a well-oiled carpooling strategy. I'm the mother of 3 children. One's involved in basketball, the other theater, and the third football. And on top of that, the local school bus service does not come to my neighborhood. This is what I do to make carpooling work. Most importantly, match your children to other families whose children are involved in the same activities, events, or part of the same sporting teams. Also, check your neighborhood for families and friends who are looking for carpoolers. Ask around. And I love to contact my school to get a zip code list. Zip code lists are great. These could be families who live right in your area that are also looking for carpoolers. You've heard this before, but let's make sure we're keeping all of our passengers safe by making sure we have the right number of car seats and seat belts to accommodate our new passengers. Also, cutting off our phones and texting while driving, just to make sure that everyone arrives to their destination safe and sound. So important. Carpools work if you work them right. Remember, when mama's happy, everyone else is happy. I'm Redrick, America Now.
You know, moms tend to put their families first and put their own needs last. And too often, by the time a mom gets to the end of her to-do list, she is too tired to do anything for herself.
Well, our mom strategist says there are ways to carve out time for yourself while taking care of your family, and it's easier than you may think. Check it out.
If you have ever said there are not enough hours in a day, you're gonna love my next strategy called blending. Blending is when you are doing something for your children, looking for opportunities to do something for yourself. For example, when I would get the baths ready in the evening, I would light a candle for me and play music that I love while I bathe the kids. But it can apply to anything. One of the things I used to do with my children is when I would push them on the swing, I would squat for me. Push, squat, push, squat. This eliminates you trying to create this extra time to exercise, for example.
You know, I did something similar. I was having trouble exercising and working out. And so I ordered one of the running strollers. My child loves being outside and looking at the trees and flowers, and I actually get exercise. There is no excuse for me not doing that now.
You guys, tell me, how are you already blending in your life? How are you taking care of yourself while you're taking care of your children?
I have a best girlfriend who's a trainer who created a way in which we literally work out in her garage while our kids play outside. So we're getting me time, we're getting mommy time, and our kids are just having a good time.
Blending is a wonderful opportunity for you every single day to do something small for you, and it will improve the quality of your life by doing that. Look for ways to incorporate you into your life. Remember, when mama's happy, everyone else is happy. I'm Redrick, America Now.
All right, moms, we know how it is, the mad rush to get the kids out the door to school, make sure the teeth are brushed, their hair is combed, socks that match. Well, that doesn't always allow moms the time they need to look their best. So our mom strategist says, it doesn't have to be that way.
It's so easy to make sure that everyone else in your family is dressed and ready to go for the day and forget completely about yourself. I mean, aren't you tired of wearing the same old mommy jeans 2 times a week? You know, one of the things that I love to do is to lay my clothes out in advance and to get up 15 minutes earlier than the rest of my family so I can get dressed uninterrupted. A novel concept, I know. And I know you've heard this before, but it really works. Let your children pick out their clothes themselves, and it's okay if they don't match. Why? Because it's going to save you time and aggravation in the mornings. And another thing, every year I take one really great photo of myself. I found over the years that looking in the photo album, a lot of those shots, I looked like the stressed out mom that had gotten the kids ready for family photos. So I take one professional shot every year, and you should too, because it's great fun and the kids will remember you as you really are. If you follow these tips, you'll go from frumpy to fabulous. Remember, if mama's happy, everyone else is happy. I'm Redrick, America Now.
I don't think it's a shock to most women that they do the majority of chores around the house. But our mom strategist says you don't have to do it alone. She has some ideas that will get everyone pitching in.
Finding help around the house is never easy. I've got ways to get your family to chip in. One of the things that I found is it's so important to build a culture in your family to get your kids to help. And one of the things that I love to do with my children is to assign tasks. And I find that when I assign them specific things that I want them to do, the likelihood that it happens is so much higher than when I just say to them, go clean your room.
How do you assign the tasks?
Okay.
Is it a chart or?
So what I love to use are index cards, and at dinner, under their dinner plates, I put a task that needs to be done. You're not gonna bring index cards to dinner every night because no one will want to eat dinner, okay? But one night a week to make it fun and to get the kids to want to help out.
I think it's a great idea because I know I fall into sort of learned helplessness a lot, where it's easier for me just to do it.
Right, and I think that that's the pitfall. While moms often complain that we have no support within our homes, but also what we don't do a really great job at as mothers is teaching our family how to help us. My husband's not exempt from helping out either, and I find that with my husband, using a language that says something like, honey, do you want to do baths or dishes, has worked really well for us. And I think when you give your family a choice, this or that, no is not an option.
Mia, what's your advice for when they do the chore but they don't do it completely?
Well, I think anytime you're teaching your children how to do a task, you have to be open to a level of transition in terms of how they're going to do it. You know, no one wants to help if you're the critical person or the person with the white gloves that goes behind them to check the table. The idea is to reward and praise your family for helping you in the small ways that they are, and then at another time saying to them, you know what really works when you're doing the dishes? Make sure you rinse twice instead of once, or make sure you dry. And sometimes as moms, we don't get the help we need, not because the help isn't there. It's really because we haven't asked for it, because we haven't required it. Remember, when mama's happy, everyone else is happy. I'm Mia Redrick, America Now.
Finding ways to spend quality time as a family is certainly hard these days, but we just heard about an activity called Dear Time that is a great solution.
It stands for Drop Everything and Read. Here are the details on Dear Time from our mom strategist.
We've been dropping everything and reading as a family for years, and we love it. It's a great source of quality family time. I thought of it years ago because as a busy mom, sometimes we don't have a whole lot of time to read. No. And I initially said to my son, Mommy's gonna read for 1 minute, because he was a toddler, and you're gonna read your book for 1 minute. And then eventually we built on it. And little did we know, we were gonna build a culture where we as a family collectively read our books independently together.
Mia, how do you do it? Is there some kind of a signal or like a Pavlov's bell that goes off when the house is chaotic, and then you say, okay, Dear Time, time out, you know, everybody.
Well, you know, when the children were younger, what we would do is I would announce it, that we're gonna have Dear Time. But now I have a 15-year-old, a 12-year-old, and an 8-year-old, and so that's not necessary. I just say, hey guys, we're gonna have some time, we're gonna read together.
Mia, in terms of coming together as a family in one space, if there's one child who objects to all this structure and just like, Mom, please, you know, Dear Time, no, I'm dropping everything and running away from this, Mom. How do you deal with a child who wants to operate against the grain?
And that's real. I mean, because we all have moments when we don't want to participate, right? Sometimes with older children, they don't want to participate because they're not used to having Dear Time in the family. And what I would ask is just like you would for the family movie night or the family game night, you don't have to participate, but you have to be there. And the whole idea is because you're building a culture of community, we enjoy being together, and that's it. Dear works really well with my family, and I know it will work really well with your family also. Remember, when mama's happy, everyone else is happy. I'm Mia Redrick, America Now.
Okay, moms, you know how you're usually the one who keeps track of all the kids' doctor appointments, while sometimes forgetting your own? All right, here are some easy tips for keeping yourself up to date from our mom strategist.
We all know the deal. We as parents often put ourselves last on the list, but it's really important to take great care of ourselves because our health is our wealth. Here is what I propose. Write down all of your doctor's visits that you need to have annually, including a mammogram, gynecologist, primary care physician, eye doctor, your dentist. I like to take 1 or 2 hours each year and schedule all of my appointments for the following year in advance. This commits me to get it on the calendar. And what I always ask whenever I'm scheduling the appointments is if the secretary will send me an email reminder since I'm scheduling 1 year in advance. All right, perfect. Thank you. It's a wonderful way to stay accountable and get those physicals on the calendar. Really, really important. And lastly, to make sure you don't lose out on your health care deductibles, if it's at the end of the year, make sure you get an appointment on the books. Your health is your wealth. When you take great care of yourself, you're taking great care of your family. Remember, when mama's happy, everyone else is happy. I'm Mia Redrick, America Now.
Author Mia Redrick is America Now's mom strategist and frequently meets with busy mothers to help them create mom self-care support groups.
One of the things I think is so important for every mom is to create a community of support for herself. Okay, so Time for Mommy groups were created because I know that so often we get together for a play group and connect with, other mothers through that way, but we aren't really talking about ourselves. And one of the things that I found is that when we talk about our lives and when we grow our lives, whatever we do for ourselves, we give to our family. So we've had over 283 self-care groups, and I think the power of the groups has been that moms have no judgment, just camaraderie. You have an opportunity to connect with other women in your demographics of motherhood. For example, if you are a stay-at-home mom, if you connect with other women who are at home, their strategies and tips are more relevant for you.
And it's so easy as a mom to just start feeling isolated. So to get into groups or have your friends call and say, hey, come do this, come do that, it forces you to come out of the little shell of isolating yourself.
And as a mom, it's really important to widen the net so that you have more friends, and then with all of that comes different opportunity and different things.
You know, I think is so cool is that in motherhood, we are still growing in our own lives, and we forget about that. And that's why I think it's so important to build support for yourself that's relevant, because we change. Remember, when mama's happy, everyone else is happy. I'm Mia Redrick, America Now.
Now, when most people think of dating, they think of being single, going out on the town, but when you're married with kids, that's when the real dating fun should begin.
It sure is. Well, our mom strategist explains why and shares her rules of family dating.
This is something you've probably not thought about, but it's worked really great for me, and it is dating your family. I have 3 rules of family dating. One is date yourself each week, date your spouse every other week, and date your children individually at least once a month. It's a wonderful way to connect and spend quality time with the people that matter the most. Self-dates are great, and they don't have to be expensive. In fact, it could be a simple trip to the mall to try on some clothes, or just to window shop, or a complimentary cooking class. You get to decide. Just get creative and commit to spending time alone. Also, dating your spouse, we've all done it, but one of the things I will say is standing order dates. Make them non-negotiable. It's a great way to fire up any relationship. And my favorite is spending time individually with each of my children. What a wonderful way to connect to the things that are important to them and to share it with them. I know it's hard, but I want you to commit to dating your family. Dating allows you to build community and connection with the people you love the most. Remember, when mama's happy, everyone else is happy. I'm Mia Redrick, America Now.
All day there's something. Mommy, help me tie my shoe. Mommy, I need something to eat. Mommy, can you change the station? Mommy, can you help me get my bike out? Mommy, can you put my roller skates on? It's always something.
Being a mom requires a lot of tolerance, and you need to be okay with the 100 spills that are gonna happen that day.
Motherhood is really intense. I don't think there's anything anyone can say to really prepare you for how intense it is.
America Now's mom strategist and best-selling author Mia Redrick regularly meets with mothers to help them prioritize their busy lives.
So, you know, one of the things that I found is that as a mom, we're no longer multitasking, we're megatasking.
Yeah.
Okay. And isn't that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that has helped me over the years is, one, identify when I am megatasking and to reduce my commitment and my schedule. Okay. And I do that by writing down over a 2-day period of time all the things that I'm actually doing. And that includes the little things: changing diapers, making dinner, carpooling. I call those contribution activities. These are things that we do for our families every single day. And so being clear for myself about what I'm actually contributing to my family allows me to reduce guilt and therefore give myself permission to rest, to do less, okay? And I firmly believe that moms aren't necessarily looking to balance their work and their life. I think what we want more of is joy. Ready? Creating opportunities to experience joy on a daily basis in your life is the goal, So the question is, how can I add joy to the things in my life? Yeah. What do I need to get rid of in order to experience more of that joy every single day? The key to ending mommy burnout is to understand everything that you're connected to, and then give yourself permission to release and to relax. Remember, when mama's happy, everyone else is happy. I'm Mia Redrick, America Now.
Now, it might seem counterintuitive, but doing less can actually help you feel more accomplished and happier too. Mom strategist Mia Redrick tells us how moms especially need to heed this advice. But she also says we can all learn to do less well.
Is your to-do list out of control? Are you overcommitted? One of the strategies that I've used over the years is doing less well. Let me tell you what I mean. Every other year in my life, I have what I call a do less year. And what it means is that every single thing I'm committed to, I'm going to evaluate that. I put it on the schedule, I look at it and I say, is this still serving my life? I find as moms, we're really great at adding obligations and responsibilities to our life, and we're not as good at subtracting. A do less year allows you to look at those board meetings you're connected to, extracurricular commitments, church functions, whatever it is, and see if you still want to say yes to those events. And then once I know that, I like to look at the things that are contributing in my life to make sure that what I'm doing, how I'm spending my time, refuels me and serves me. Because that's the whole idea of extracurricular things. You should love to do them, right?
You know, I started asking myself what would happen if this didn't get done. And that's how I make my to-do list every week now. The night before I say, what would happen? You know, would I fall off the earth? Would everything, you know, explode if this one thing didn't get done?
Sometimes we treat everything in our lives as if they are urgent and they need to happen in 24 hours, and they don't need to. And then lastly, one of the things I love to do, we have a rule in our family, it's called express yourself. Before, I used to be one of those moms that when the flyers came home, I would post them on the refrigerator for the extracurricular activity and then ask my kids, you want to do soccer? Now, my kids have to express themselves. If there's something your children want to do, they will tell you 100 million times. And so I don't post those flyers. I keep those flyers on mute. Doing less well gives you opportunity to do what matters most. Remember, when mama's happy, everyone else is happy. I'm Redrick, America Now.
Now, it might seem counterintuitive, but doing less can actually help you feel more accomplished and happier too. Mom strategist Redrick tells us how moms especially need to heed this advice. But she also says we can all learn to do less well.
Is your to-do list out of control? Are you overcommitted? One of the strategies that I've used over the years is doing less well. Let me tell you what I mean. Every other year in my life, I have what I call a do less year. And what it means is that every single thing I'm committed to, I'm going to evaluate that. I put it on the schedule, I look at it and I say, is this still serving my life? I find as moms, we're really great at adding obligations and responsibilities to our life, and we're not as good at subtracting. A do less year allows you to look at those board meetings you're connected to, extracurricular commitments, church functions, whatever it is, and see if you still want to say yes to those events. And then once I know that, I like to look at the things that are contributing in my life to make sure that what I'm doing, how I'm spending my time, refuels me and serves me. Because that's the whole idea of extracurricular things. You should love to do them, right?
You know, I started asking myself what would happen if this didn't get done. And that's how I make my to-do list every week now. The night before I say, what would happen? You know, would I fall off the earth? Would everything, you know, explode if this one thing didn't get done?
Sometimes we treat everything in our lives as if they are urgent and they need to happen in 24 hours, and they don't need to. And then lastly, one of the things I love to do, we have a rule in our family, it's called express yourself. Before, I used to be one of those moms that when the flyers came home, I would post them on the refrigerator for the extracurricular activity and then ask my kids, you want to do soccer? Now, my kids have to express themselves. If there's something your children want to do, they will tell you 100 million times. And so I don't post those flyers. I keep those flyers on mute. Doing less well gives you opportunity to do what matters most. Remember, when mama's happy, everyone else is happy. I'm Redrick, America Now. As a busy mom, you're used to packing a bag for your children, but often we don't pack a bag for ourselves. And so I always pack a mommy toolkit, and that toolkit helps me to be prepared for wherever I am in motherhood, extracurricular activities, sports practice, or just sitting in carpool. Here's some examples of what I pack in my toolkit. I pack a manicure set, so when I'm stuck in carpool, I can give myself a quick manicure. And I always pack things that keep me entertained. So for example, my journal, a magazine, and I love packing my calendar because it allows me to plan the next day. You always pack a snack for your children, but I want you also to pack a snack for you. So I pack a bottle of water, as well as trail mix, so that when I have the opportunity to refuel, I can. And I'm always ready to work out. So I always bring with me my jump rope, as well as my resistance bands. Easy way to get your workout in any day, anytime. Packing a bag for you will allow you to be prepared for anywhere your life takes you as a mom. Remember, when mom is happy, everyone else is happy. I'm Mia Redrick, America Now.
I love the toolkit, Mia. How about dads? Can dads have one too?
Absolutely. Dads create the best toolkits. The deal is just be prepared for wherever you're going to be that day with your family to maximize the day.
Very nice. Thank you.
Now, do you struggle getting a good, healthy meal on the table every night for your family? Well, here are some sound strategies to ease the stress of nightly cooking from our mom strategist.
I've got 3 kids and a husband that insist on having dinner every night, but that doesn't mean I have to cook it. This is what I do. First, teach the people in your family how to make easy and simple meals for themselves. For example, my 15-year-old loves to make grilled cheese. My daughter is the master omelet maker. My husband is the king of frozen pizza. And even my littlest one knows how to make boxed macaroni and cheese. Easy and simple meal solutions is what every family can benefit from. Next, have a clean meal. That's a meal without pots and pans. Easy and simple ways. And then one of the things we love to do is to have a family salad competition. We use pre-prepared meats or tuna, and we will all master and spin a salad our own way. And lastly, bulk cook. I know you've heard it before, but it really works, and it is a time saver. One of the things that I love to do is to make chili, soups, spaghetti sauce in advance in bulk. And so when you have that busy week, the food is already made, it's nutritious, and it's healthy. You can just pop it in to warm it up, and dinner is served. And the bonus is the time you spend bulk cooking creates opportunities for meaningful family time. And who doesn't want that? Remember, when mama's happy, everyone else is happy. I'm Mia Redrick, America Now.
Now, one more tip from Mia. She says it's a good idea to keep your pantry and freezer stocked with the basics like pasta and hamburger meat.
So that way you'll always have a meal on hand to put together in a pinch, like you do.
Always.